So my grandma shared this Cheez-it chicken with my cousin, and with me, she shared a saltine chicken. If there's enough time in this video, I might do both of them. We'll see how it turns out. But tonight we're gonna make the Cheez-it chicken. Now, I made my own Cheez-its because my son can't actually have Cheez-its from the box. They're not that hard to make, but they're a little time consuming, I'm not gonna lie. So if you have the time, sure, make your own Cheez-its. If you don't have the time, just buy a box of Cheez-its because I've done that plenty of times in the past. But side note, they're really good. You can buy chicken tenders already cut. I've got some chicken breasts that we're gonna use. We're just gonna cut them into chicken tenders, but I wanna get everything laid out and ready to go. Okay, before I cut up my chicken, I'm gonna take some sour cream. You can use Greek yogurt. I do think sour cream is better for this unless you get a full fat Greek yogurt. I just think it's a better option. But our Greek yogurt that we have is, oh man. Our Greek yogurt that we have is non-fat, and I just don't think it works as well for this recipe. Okay, so we're just gonna put, I don't know, that's like maybe a half cup. We'll start with that. If we need more, I'll just set this to the side so that we do have it. And then for the Cheez-its, they are a lot thicker than regular Cheez-its. I mean, obviously, because I made them myself and because I had to throw away my rolling pin because it just got really yucky and like stuff got stuck inside of it. So I would have rolled them out a little better with a rolling pin, but I rolled them by hand. So this is, this is a lot more intense than it needs to be. Okay, so we're just gonna take some Cheez-its and put them here in this bag. I don't remember how much the actual recipe requires. I'm completely doing this from memory. I feel like I'd rather do less. And if we need more, I'll crush more. Just cause those were a labor of love, y'all. And I'm not gonna waste them. So I'm using my meat mallet and we are just gonna crush these. I'm gonna eat the ones that didn't crush up quite as well. Now we officially have everything ready to go. My oven is preheated. I preheated it to 375 degrees. And it is ready, as you just heard. I'm going to cut the fatty pieces off because I don't like it. And then we're just gonna cut into strips. And this is just like the size strips that you would like. I do recommend trying to make them all a similar size just because of cooking time. It is all cut. Let me move this over and get these ready. So we're going to dip in the sour cream and then dip into the Cheez-its. Just get a nice little coating on there. And then onto the parchment lined baking sheet and repeat. Super simple. Now, if you want, this is 3 ingredients. I told you guys it was gonna be 3 ingredients, but something that my grandma used to do, even though I have done it without this, and I'm going to do it without it this time, is she would take a little bit of melted butter and drizzle it over the Cheez-its before she put it in the oven. Now, I didn't say that this recipe was healthy. I just said it was good. So that's one of those things. If you want to add a 4th ingredient, you can do that. I am not gonna be doing that, but you know, I always like to give you guys little suggestions and tips that you can do. I feel like it was almost every time my cousin or I would go to her house, we would request this or the saltine chicken that she showed us. I bet if I were to ask her, she hasn't had this in years. Should we call her? We should call and talk to her. We should ask her. It will be a miracle if she answers. She always has her phone on her and rarely answers it. All right, these are gonna go into the oven. It's usually like 18 to 22 minutes. It just depends on your oven. Mine actually does usually run hot because it's a convection oven, but you're looking for that 160, 165 internal temperature. All right, guys, let's give this a try. It just came out of the oven. It's still pretty hot. It's just like I remember. The one thing that I will say is I think that box Cheez-its are a little saltier, so you do get like that element of salt in this that I put a little less in mine when I made them homemade. But it's like It's sort of like a fried chicken strip, but not fried. I really like these and it just brings back memories. All right, friends, so we are making foil packets and this is absolutely one of our favorites. The flavors are always so good and everything is in this aluminum foil and you get to toss it all when you're done. The cleanup is super duper easy, okay? Now I am actually using 2 pieces of foil per packet and that's because I accidentally got the regular aluminum foil and not the heavy duty, which is basically useless, okay? But we have 4 different ones set out here because there's 4 of us in our family. Now, this is one of those that it's 3 ingredients, but technically it's really 4 ingredients. But if you count salt and pepper as like not an actual ingredient because everybody has that in their household, it's really a 3 ingredient meal. Does that make sense? Okay, we're just gonna roll with it. Also, I wanna let you know, I am using a chicken sausage because I couldn't find the normal Italian sausage that we use. I need to go to the farmer's market. So I got this sweet Italian style sausage. It's a chicken sausage. So I'm gonna have to spray my foil. If you use a pork sausage, you don't even have to spray your foil because the fats from the sausage as they're cooking release. It's a non-stick for the foil. It's also gonna help the potatoes and the green beans cook. It turns out perfectly, okay? So I'm gonna spray mine just because I really don't feel like there's enough fat in chicken sausage that it's gonna have that effect. But if you get pork sausage, you won't have to do that. I've got some potatoes over here and we are just gonna dice these up and put them into the foil packs. And you just want them to be in whatever type of bite-sized pieces you and your family enjoy. I usually do about 1 potato per person. One of these looked really small, so I did pull out 5 potatoes, but you also want to make sure that you can close the foil packet. So I have done these many times before on the grill. We are not doing them on the grill tonight. It actually looks like it's about to rain at any moment. So we are going to do these inside in the oven, but just know that we have done them many times over the grill. We've done them over the fire before. There's just so many ways that you can do this. But if it's a night like tonight and it looks like it's about to rain, or maybe it's really cold outside, or maybe you don't have a grill, you can make these inside too. They are absolutely perfectly fine inside. Now I'm gonna add in the green beans. And I do like to cut these just in half basically, and then I'll toss in some into the packet. Just however many you want inside of your foil packet. Here is where I'm gonna take my olive oil and just, oh, actually I don't have olive oil. We're out of olive oil. I'm gonna use my avocado oil spray, the same thing that I sprayed it with. And like I said before, if you're using a pork sausage, you can completely skip this step, okay? So I wanna be fully transparent with you guys. Normally, I do not have to put oil on these, but since it's a chicken sausage, I just wanna be cautious. And, ooh, that would have been not good. Move slower, Amber, it is okay. Let's open up this pack here. Dicing these up is just a personal preference. You do not have to, but that's just usually what I do. And I just slice them. You can dice them into whatever size pieces you feel like are good for you and your family. And I know we've had this brand before, but I don't think I've actually had this specific chicken sausage. So we'll see if this one's good. I'll let you guys know. I am a sucker for a good Italian sausage though, and I'm telling you, these packs are so delicious with a good Italian sausage. Okay, now, truthfully, with the Italian sausage, because the flavors are so good, you might not even need seasoning, but let me tell you, you can use salt and pepper, okay? We're not counting it as an ingredient on this one because everybody has at least salt in their house, right? You guys know half the time I don't have pepper because we're out of it. But I'm going to be using this Kevin's all-purpose seasoning that I got from Thrive Market a while back. And this is really good. It's just kind of replacing salt and pepper in a lot of recipes for us right now. So just gonna put a little bit of that into each packet, making sure that we get some flavor on our potatoes and on the green beans. Now we can wrap up the packets. Basically, I turn up on the sides and then try and roll it. You'll get the hint, hopefully. But these are stuffed full for sure. Okay, now I usually will just put mine on a baking sheet and then usually cook them on around 400 for 20 minutes or so, and they're good to go. I mean, does it get any easier than that right there? This is so easy. All you do is take it out of the foil packet and serve. Couldn't be easier. There you go. You have a delicious dinner. 3 main ingredients, cooked in about 20 minutes, all ready to go. Okay, let me tell you guys how this sausage is, the chicken sausage, since I don't think we've tried this one before. It's good flavor. It's actually really good. I like it. Everything is perfect. The best part about this meal, friends, it is a beautiful day outside, so we are not gonna spend a long time in the kitchen tonight. I'm gonna show you this really easy recipe. I'm personally making mine in the oven, but I think this would be really good in the air fryer too. I've done another 3-ingredient chicken in the air fryer and it was so delicious. But we're gonna try this one, we're gonna bake it. My oven is already preheating to 400 degrees. It's now done. There's a reason why you never see me cooking in long sleeves, and I'm now being reminded of it. I cannot stand to feel constricted in the kitchen. Folding laundry is another thing. I don't know why I cannot stand to fold laundry in long sleeves. Tell me something weird in the comments about you, because I do feel like that's a little bit weird, right? So take your chicken breasts, these are really large. You can either pound them out to make them flatter, or you can cut them in half like I do. So I'm going to do that. I always just think that's easier than getting everything out to pound it down, but you use whatever method is easiest for you. Okay. A good knife is helpful in this scenario. Okay, so I have a 9x13 dish here. I'm going to have to pause frequently. My husband is mowing and the windows are open because it's a really beautiful day. I'm sorry if you're hearing that in the background. Like I said, this is a very, very simple recipe. I am using this Simply Dressed Caesar dressing. You can make your own Caesar, use whatever kind of Caesar dressing you like. If you don't like Caesar dressing, just use a different kind of dressing. Let's pour some of this at the bottom of the dish. Okay. And we are going to take the chicken and just lay it in there, making sure it gets good dressing on it. Rubbing it around in there, making sure that we get dressing on it. And honestly, I think that you could add salt and pepper if you really want to, but I feel like this has great flavor. I don't think it needs it. Plus that takes away from the 3-ingredient factor here. Oh, also, let me just tell you, add a little bit more to the top. I feel like I don't really count salt and pepper as an ingredient, okay? I understand it is actually an ingredient, but, and for the sake of this video, I am gonna try and keep everything truly just 3 ingredients, but I always feel like, okay, everybody has some sort of oil, olive oil or whatever in their house. Everybody has salt and pepper. So that's not an ingredient that you have to go out and buy, you know? So I'm just gonna take the back of a spoon here and just kind of get some of this dressing all over the chicken. Like I said, my oven is currently preheated to 400 degrees and you heard it go off. It is ready to go. All right, this is gonna go in for about 15 minutes or so. They're nice and thin, so these aren't gonna take a whole lot of time, but then we're gonna add another ingredient and put it back in. While this is in the oven, let's get our cheese. Let's get our cheese ready to go. I'm going to grate up some Parmesan cheese. Obviously, feel free to buy pre-shredded or pre-grated cheese. That's completely fine. I have no problem shredding it. I love my cheese grater. So feel free to do whatever works best for you. Y'all know I struggle with this, okay? I never get the right size container, ever. Okay, so I am using this Parmesan wedge here. And I'm just going to shred this up. You want it to be finely grated. So if you are, or finely shredded, however you want to do it. If you are using the same cheese shredder that I'm using, I would definitely use the smaller shredder. So while I'm doing this, let me explain what happened this morning with our dog, which you guys have seen many times here on my channel. I was actually upstairs cleaning our master bathroom. Okay, so I'm in the tub, scrubbing the tub, and my son comes in and says, he had been playing outside with our dog. So my son comes in and says, Mom, can you come outside and help me? And I'm like, well, but I'm like knee deep in the tub right now, scrubbing the tub. Yeah, I need you to come outside and help me. And I'm like, okay. So my son says, I need help with Polly. Mom, she dug under the shed and she can't get out. And I'm like, what? Our dog's not a digger. How is this even possible? So I throw on my shoes really quick because at this point, I'm actually pretty nervous. And at any moment, it's gonna start raining. So I go out there. Somehow, this dog had dug a hole underneath the shed. And she got under the shed, which is one of those like pretty large Lifetime sheds with a metal base. I mean, it's a hefty thing, okay? It's not light in weight. I go out there and I'm trying to like coax her out. I have treats, I'm trying to get her out. She's not coming out. So here I am out there with shovels, digging our dog out. My husband's not even home, digging our dog out from underneath the shed. I finally dug a trench big enough that she could get out. I'm like, oh my goodness, this animal, she's fine. She's totally fine, but I'm not sure she's gonna go back under there again. I'm really hoping she's not going to, but we will be lining the shed with like cement blocks or something so she can't get back under there. So that's how my morning went. How has yours gone? That was actually a pretty good pretty good size judgment on the container here. I'm impressed with myself. Okay, that's actually really good. So that's perfect. We'll set that to the side and we're gonna wait on the chicken to be done and we're gonna add some cheese. All right, it's me, same day. I just couldn't deal with a long sleeve shirt, so I changed. So the chicken is definitely cooked through. We are going to top it with Parmesan cheese. Now, a fourth ingredient, if you want to, is some parsley, some fresh parsley, because it will just be so beautiful. Obviously, that is really a lot more for presentation than it is for anything else. So please do not feel like you have to do that. So we're gonna add cheese to the top of each one of these, as much or as little as you want, or none at all if you don't want any cheese. And then this can go back into the oven. We're gonna crank up the oven to broil and just let that cheese melt all over the top. Now, this is exactly what you want, that beautiful golden brown color on the top. Not too done, not too underdone, just enough that it adds that it just looks so good when you add that to the top. This is a fourth ingredient. But for the purpose of it being beautiful for a picture and on camera, I'm gonna add a little bit of chopped parsley. Now, before my family comes inside and crazy hits, I'm just gonna taste a little bite so I can let you guys know how it is. We're just going straight out of the pan. It's gonna be hot. The flavor of this is really, really good. Now, let me tell you what I would do making this again, and I think I am gonna make it again. You make extra and then save it for tomorrow and make a Caesar salad out of the leftover Caesar dressing that you have and make a chicken Caesar salad, putting this chicken on the top of it. You have everything you need right here. So delicious. Okay, like I said, this is okay, not a great sound. Our scripture today comes from Matthew 22, 34-40. There, Pharisees are speaking to Jesus. But when the Pharisees heard that he had silenced the Sadducees, they gathered together, and one of them, a lawyer, asked him a question to test him. Teacher, which is the great commandment in the law? And he said to him, You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the great and first commandment. And a second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. On these two commandments depend all the law and the prophets. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you need more inspiration in the kitchen, more encouragement, more recipes, I have tons of it here for you. My suggestion is to watch the video listed above next. You're going to love that one and enjoy it. But if you're looking for something specific, make sure you check out my homepage and you can search for specific recipes or specific videos that you might be interested in.